I went to the forest because silence was the only thing that didn't argue with me anymore. After my wife died, the house felt louder than any crowded street. Every room whispered her absence. I stopped sleeping. I stopped eating right. I stopped answering calls. Grief made everything heavy, even my own breathing. The cabin my father left me sat miles inside the woods, untouched for years. I thought isolation might save me. I packed light, just basics. The drive was long and empty. Fog clung to the road like it didn't want me to leave it. When I reached the cabin, the trees stood still and tall, like they were watching me arrive. The quiet was deep. Too deep. I told myself this was peace. But peace shouldn't feel like something is missing its heartbeat. The first day passed slowly. I cleaned dust from the shelves, stacked firewood, boiled canned soup. The cabin made small, tired sounds as it warmed up. Wind pushed softly through the trees, carrying the smell of wet leaves and cold soil. At night, insects screamed in waves, then stopped together, like something moved through them. I noticed footprints the next morning near the tree line. Bare. Human. Too large to be a child. Too narrowed to be an animal. I told myself a hiker wandered too close. I checked the locks anyway. That evening, while washing dishes, I heard a slow knock from outside. Just once. Soft. Polite. When I opened the door, there was nothing. Only trees. Only dark. I stood there longer than I should have, waiting for something to move. That night, the knocking returned 3 times, slow, evenly spaced. I didn't answer. I turned off the lights and sat in the dark with my back against the wall. The floor creaked near the door. Not inside, right outside it. I heard breathing through the wood. Thin, dry, like air passing through cracked lips. I grabbed my flashlight and flung the door open. The porch was empty, but the footprints were back. Fresh, wet, leading from the trees straight to my door. They stopped inches from the threshold, then nothing beyond that. No return trail, just the forest swallowing the path. I laughed once to calm myself. It sounded fake even to me. When I turned back inside, the bathroom light was on. I knew I had turned it off before. Sleep stopped completely after that. Every sound felt deliberate. Branches snapping in precise rhythms, steps that matched my own pace when I moved from room to room. The windows fogged from the cold, and sometimes I swore I saw shapes pressing against the glass before fading away, always too fast to be certain. I started feeling watched, even in daylight. The forest no longer looked empty. It looked crowded with stillness. On the 3rd evening, I heard my name whispered from the trees. My wife's voice. Soft. Weak. Calling me the way she used to when she was sick and couldn't stand on her own. I walked toward it before I realized what I was doing. I stopped just short of the tree line, heart pounding. The voice came again. Closer this time. My name should not have sounded like that. I followed the voice into the forest. That was my first real mistake. The trees swallowed the moonlight within a few steps. My flashlight beam cut thin tunnels through the dark. Then I saw her, standing between 2 dead trees, her back to me, her hair the same length, her shoulders the same slope, my wife's shape, perfectly copied. I whispered her name. Slowly she turned. Her face was almost right, almost, The skin moved like it didn't fit what was underneath. Her eyes were wrong, too wide, too black. Her smile stretched farther than her cheeks should allow. When she spoke, she used my wife's voice, but not her rhythm, like someone repeating sounds they never understood. "You came back for me," it said. My legs stopped working. My heart felt like it shattered in place. I ran. I don't remember turning. I only remember the sound behind me. Wet footsteps slapping against dead leaves. Its breathing kept pace with mine no matter how fast I moved. The trees tightened around the path like they were shifting to block me in. I burst through the cabin door and slammed it shut, throwing the deadbolt with shaking hands. The walls vibrated as something struck the wood, once, twice, again and again. The windows rattled. I killed the lights and crawled across the floor, hiding beneath a table like that could save me. Outside, it began to speak in her voice again, begging, crying, promising it was cold, promising it only wanted to come inside. The door handle turned slowly, testing the lock with patient strength. Time stopped meaning anything. Minutes stretched into hours or seconds. I couldn't tell. The knocking returned in patterns. 3 slow taps, pause. 3 more, over and over. My thoughts became short and broken. I wondered if grief had finally rotted my mind, if I was dying quietly on the floor of that cabin. I pressed my hands to my ears, but the voice crawled inside my head anyway. It began reciting memories only my wife and I shared. Her wedding song, the scar on my knee from when I fell through the dock, the nickname she used only in whispers. I started crying without sound. My chest shook so hard I thought it would give me away. Then the knocking stopped. The silence after was worse than the noise. I realized I was alone with my own breathing again. Morning light crept in through the windows like nothing had happened. The forest looked harmless again. Birds chirped. Wind moved the leaves gently. I told myself it had left. I opened the door. The porch was empty. The footprints were gone. Relief hit me so hard my legs weakened. I packed quickly, not even thinking straight. When I lifted my bag from the floor, something fell out that I hadn't packed. A strip of hospital wristband, my wife's name printed on it, fresh, still warm from my hand. I heard the cabin door close behind me, softly, carefully. The voice came from inside the cabin this time, right behind the door I had just walked through. "You left me again," it said. I understood then that it never needed permission to enter. The door exploded inward. The thing wearing my wife's shape lunged toward me with impossible speed. Its limbs bent in directions joints shouldn't bend. Its mouth opened wider than any human mouth could. I ran into the trees, branches tearing at my skin, roots sending me crashing to the ground. It stayed close, never losing distance. I could hear the wet movement of it behind me, the sound of something wearing skin too tight for its bones. I screamed until my throat burned. The forest offered no path, only walls of black trunks. I tripped. Hands, not quite hands, grabbed my ankle and dragged me backward across the leaves. I kicked. I clawed. My nails broke. Its grip did not loosen. My flashlight rolled away and died in the dirt. It pulled me beneath the roots of a massive dead tree where the earth opened like a mouth. The forest swallowed both of us. Inside the dark, its shape finally folded away from my wife's form. What remained was thin, towering, and layered, with faces stretched across its body like masks. Some were fresh, some were old. I felt my own face begin to burn as it pressed against me. My memories bled into it. My voice caught in its throat. My wife's voice faded from its skin as mine took its place. When I woke, I was standing at the edge of the trees, barefoot, watching the road. The cabin was quiet behind me. A car approached slowly through the fog. I opened my mouth and called for help in a voice that was no longer mine.